Miller in the shotgun. Gets free on the edge. Braxton Miller's loose. Spin move. Miller headed for the end.
So what happened to Braxton Miller? Today we're going to be talking about a player who took what could have been a tragic situation, flipped it on his head, and made a success story out of it. A player that's loved and revered by many Ohio State fans and college football fans in general. In this video, we're going to talk about Braxton Miller's journey and, most importantly, what we can learn from it. So if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. If you are not new and you've seen these videos before, stop playing, subscribe, and make sure your notifications are enabled. That way you can get all of my videos, as I'm posting a lot more frequently than I was a while back. Other than that, let's start the video. Alright, before we jump into the video, quick shout out to today's video sponsor, Dollar Shave Club. Every time I mention on here that I'm 30 years old, or when I go on to a local college campus to play basketball and telecast that I'm 30, I always get a, really? Now, if you don't know, that's dude's way of saying, bro, you're looking pretty damn good for your age. Comes from a combination of things, diet, exercise, but one of the key components is taking care of your skin. And Dollar Shave Club is a convenient, inexpensive way to do just that. You can attempt to address these issues at a store, but it's tough. The selection is crazy. You don't really know the difference between none of these products, and getting help from somebody who works at the store is really not an option when they don't know anything about the products either. So if you're like me and you're tired of dealing with that crap, maybe it's time to try Dollar Shave Club. For a limited time, they're basically giving away their starter kit that has the dopest name ever, the Shower Shave Starter Set. That's just getting straight to the point. Anyway, they're giving this to new members for only $5. The starter set includes their executive razor and 3 trial-size versions of their most popular products to help you stay fresh and clean. In your box, you're going to receive the shave butter, body wash, and the One Wipe Charlies. You'll also get their executive razor, which also includes the premium weighty handle and a full thing of cartridges. After the first box, replacements are sent for only a few dollars a month. This offer is exclusively available by clicking the link in the description, dollarshaveclub.com/FlemLo. Any purchases made through that link help support this channel. Thanks again to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring, and let's jump into the video. So Braxton Miller was always planning to attend Ohio State. Jim Tressel had been recruiting the Ohio native since the time he was in the 8th grade. He took other visits, but he says that he never took anybody else too seriously. While he was in high school, Braxton used his athletic ability for more than just football. He also ran track and hooped on the basketball team. When Braxton finally made everybody else aware of his intentions to attend Ohio State, that made some people think his partner Trey DePriest was also coming. But Trey ended up going to Alabama instead. Now, I know Braxton says he only ever considered Ohio State seriously, but DePriest was and is his partner, so if he considered anywhere, you could speculate that it would have been Bama, and I only bring that up because there were some Bama rumors that we will address a little bit later in the story, alright? Anyway, Scout.com had Braxton rated as a 5-star recruit, but when he arrived at Ohio State, he didn't expect to play much right off. So it was believed that Braxton was going to learn under another Ohio State quarterback, Terrell Pryor. Braxton and Terrell would eventually end up having much more in common than any of us knew at the time. And of course, I'm foreshadowing the NFL transition that they both made. Now, when Braxton first arrived at Ohio State, Terrell Pryor and some other Ohio State players got caught up in a scandal for receiving improper benefits from a tattoo parlor owner. This eventually led to Pryor's suspension, and the coach who had been recruiting Braxton since the 8th grade, Jim Tressel, also got caught up in the situation for withholding information. That whole mess would only grow and eventually lead to the starting quarterback Terrell Pryor and the head coach Jim Tressel to leave Ohio State altogether, along with some other members. So at this point, Braxton's coach is gone and he's now thrust into the spotlight. He didn't start right out the gate, but saw significant PT in the season opener, completing 8 of 12 passes for 130 yards and a touchdown. After a couple slow weeks in games 2 and 3, by week 4, Braxton was named the starter, and he played well enough to earn the CFPA National Freshman Trophy. However, the team overall struggled, but Braxton Miller never wavered. In 2012, Ohio State got a new head coach, Urban Meyer. Coach Meyer loved Braxton. He said, if you don't have that kid, you're starting your career here at Ohio State with a 500 or 8-5 record. That's high praise. The fact that Ohio State went 12-0 that year meant that Coach Meyer was directly giving Braxton credit for like half of the wins. Obviously, he'd get some credit for all of the wins, but what Coach Meyer was saying was, without Braxton, half those wins would have been losses. That year, Braxton's 1,271 rushing yards was the most ever for an Ohio State quarterback in a single season. He also set a new school record for total offense with 3,300 yards and was voted the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Again, Ohio State finished the season with a perfect 12-0 record, but had taken a self-imposed bowl ban following the Tattoo Gate situation. 2013 was Braxton's best year from a statistical standpoint. His yardage numbers are pretty similar to his sophomore year, but his completion percentage increased and his touchdown pass number went up by 9, while his interception number only went up by 1, giving him a touchdown interception ratio of 24-7. All day. His rush attempts also dropped, showing that he was relying less on his athletic ability and really hitting his stride playing the quarterback position. He then won Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year again. Up to this point, Braxton's trajectory had been constantly moving in a relatively straight line toward more and more success. But here's where things take a turn. In 2013, during the Orange Bowl, Braxton injured his non-throwing shoulder. He finished the game and almost pulled it out, but fell short. He later described the pain of the shoulder injury as a 9.5 out of 10. Damn. Due to this injury, he had to undergo surgery on that shoulder. That's never good. So he's back in camp, he's the Heisman favorite, he's ready to go. But 11 days before the season opener, he tears a labrum and has to get another surgery. And this time, on his throwing shoulder. This forced him to miss the entire 2014-2015 season. First year of the college playoff, by the way. And of course, Ohio State goes on to win it. Meanwhile, Braxton watches JT Barrett and Cardale Jones become stars. And while I'm sure he was happy his squad won the ship, you gotta consider the fact that he'd been the starter every year since he was a freshman. He'd grinded it out and helped the team return to prominence. They got better and better each year, and when the team was finally primed for the Natty, he's injured. That's gotta be tough. Then, at the same time, the exact same time, he doesn't know if he's ever gonna be able to play quarterback again. After having to undergo surgery on his throwing shoulder, Braxton said that he can only throw the ball about 40 yards. This the same dude that was doing this in high school. In high school, bro. Now he can only throw 40 yards? Even still, people speculated that Braxton would use the graduate transfer rule to go to another program. Now, Bama came up in these talks when it was reported that Braxton had taken multiple trips out there and was gonna play for Bama in the fall. Some people were running with these rumors, but it turned out Braxton got his procedure done by a Birmingham-based doctor named James Andrews, and he was traveling back there for checkups on his shoulder. But when asked about transferring, Braxton said this: "I'm from Ohio. This is my home state. This is where I started, and this is where I'm gonna finish it." At this point, Braxton knew it was time to pivot, and after what had to be a heartbreaking series of events for him, he started strategizing on how he could turn this thing into a positive. Here's a quote about changing position. "This is the smarter thing for right now. God blessed me with a lot of talent and different opportunities. I'm gonna have fun with that and still score a lot of touchdowns and help my team be dominant." So Braxton decided to switch to wide receiver / H-back for his final season. And after playing quarterback his whole life, in Braxton's first ever college game as a wide receiver / H-back, dude was unreal, man. Check it out. Braxton finished the season with 260 rushing yards and 26 catches for 341 receiving yards. He also scored a total of 4 touchdowns. Not the most amazing season from a stat standpoint, Man, he made some amazing plays, bro, and really showed that he had a crazy ability, and if given time, he could really turn into an elite receiver at the NFL level. Braxton Miller, standing 6'1", weighing 200 pounds at the time, ran a 4.43 in the 40-yard dash. He was taken in the 3rd round by the Texans. His rookie season didn't go as well as he'd hoped, and he was placed on injured reserve in December 2016 after injuring that shoulder again. Currently, Braxton's yet to find his stride in the NFL, and last year only posted 19 receptions for 162 yards and 1 touchdown. However, going into his 3rd year, Braxton's got plenty of talent and could have a breakout year, assuming Deshaun Watson is healthy. Braxton's only 25, he's only been playing receiver for a few years, and with his set of skills and perseverance, I think his future is bright. So Braxton's story, even though it's still in progress, has a very important lesson. He could have easily wallowed in self-pity, faded away, people would have gave him a pat on the back, sent a little bit of sympathy his way, and then kept moving with their lives. But instead, he kept moving with his life. And he's now playing in the NFL, and I believe has his best days ahead of him. Alright man, that's gonna do it for today's video. Don't forget to let me know in the comment section who y'all want to see next. Other than that, I'ma holler at you next time. My name is FlemLo Raps.
Yeah, I'm no quitter, 'cause I'ma go get it.